And
Yeah,
then,
I can tell you as someone who has played Minecraft since beta, um, once you hear that telltale sound of a creeper
run in
right
any
behind
direction.
you, it's like fuck.
Yeah, run in any direction. Whatever you have to
Yeah,
do, get away, get away. Um,
especially if you're near your home and you're like, no, 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 no.
so, on today's Delving Deeper, we are going to be
Not delving deep.
not no or delving deepest.
We're delving deeper, not delving deepest.
That's
We
right.
did
Not
that last week.
yes, not too hot, not too cold, just right.
Just right.
Just a little deeper. Delving deeper, we are talking about mistakes as a feature. And so this is a little bit different than just bad games and whether they are good. What I wanted to talk about were some of the examples of games that actually had glitches, bugs, stuff like that in it that ended up becoming iconic to the games themselves. Essentially,
I think
yeah.
I know one of the examples you might be going with here.
Oh, do you? I
Maybe, but go on, go on.
Okay. You can tell me what you think it is after I tell you what the general idea is. But there have been a point, especially with video games. This isn't necessarily something with tabletop, or at least it doesn't present itself up at the start as much, except for maybe the wizard being just a really funny thing that from D&D.
No, if we're going with mistakes as a feature for D&D, it is the bard being able to summon an instrument, and that instrument being anywhere within 20 feet of you, and you being able to summon a baby grand piano 20 feet in the air.
Oh, that would be great. I didn't know you could do that.
You can't anymore,
Oh, okay.
but that is for tabletop, that would be a mistake as a feature that people abused the shit out of, so they went, okay, in future editions we're gonna fix that.
Right.
Because the bard summoning baby grand piano to drop on their enemy's head, a little bit broken.
Yeah, but I
Just
think,
like the piano once it falls.
yes, all of my hopes and dreams and the piano have broken.
Have been shattered.
Have been shattered. Thank you, bards. Anyway, the thing is, though, in video games, what happens a lot of times is that something will happen in the game, in the programming, that they did not intend. That ends up being such an interesting thing that people love that they just make it a feature of the game or series from that point forward.
I feel like you're talking about Bethesda.
You know, one of the things that they often cite with Bethesda was in Skyrim.
Yes.
They had the what was it, the giant spaceship thing?
That's the one I expected you to be thinking of.
Yeah.
In Skyrim, the giants, when they hit you with their clubs,
Oh yeah.
have a chance of making you take off like a rocket, hitting you extremely far.
Yeah.
And so they went, oh, that's a bug. And they patched it out. And then the community went, no, 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 we love that.
Yeah.
Put it back in.
Yeah.
And Bethesda went, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well,
So they put it back in.
Yeah.
Because they're like, everyone seems to think this is great. Because it is great.
Yeah.
It's absolutely hilarious when you're like, no, 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 wham, boo, and you just take off, and it's like, well, I'm dead. There's my horse, that's dead, and you fall to the ground 3,000 miles away.
Yeah. It's just it's lovely. It's lovely. There's also the ability, if you can get your horse on like a vertical angle or something like that, and they like you dismount, it will like catapult you over the landscape. And if you
I don't think that's a feature.
I don't think that's a feature, but they definitely didn't patch it out because no one was complaining. Also, I would say like the Dawn Star chest, which is another one that I think people they could have probably patched out, but people like it so much that, you know, all the traders in the game essentially have to have a chest to get their inventory from, and there happens to be this one chest in Dawnstar that's like, if you get behind one rock, the chest is actually under the ground, and you can select it and go into that that NPC's inventory. So that's fun. But you know what? There's a lot of other really good ones that we can talk about, and I think we should probably start with one of the oldest ones, which is about Space Invaders. Do you know the Space Invaders?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do know that one.
Yeah.
That's because at the time when they made Space Invaders, they were running on kilobytes?
If they were lucky. I think it was a hamster wheel.
It was a hamster wheel. But essentially, they had coded it so that the enemies, shifted, moved down, shifted, moved down, shifted, moved down. But as the enemies kept getting killed, it was freeing up space on the board because they didn't have to render those assets. So it was freeing up space, and it was making the entire game speed up.
Yeah, when the creator eventually started, I guess they intended to actually have it be faster than the normal speed was, but there were too many sprites on screen to render.
Right.
And so what eventually happens, though, is that they wanted it to go at a certain speed, but the game wouldn't allow it to render. However, as less sprites were on the screen, then it gets faster and faster, and it's like, oh, well, this is great, because now it increases the challenge as the game goes along.
Right.
But that was a hardware limitation more than a bug itself. But
I mean, it is definitely not something they intended, but when it comes down to it, it is iconic of that game.
And future versions of Space Invaders included mechanics like that. As you eliminate the little aliens as they come across the screen, it naturally does get faster. So it became something that, even without the hardware limitations, they kept doing throughout the series. So this one is, it might actually be apocryphal, but it is also very well known, is Gandhi in Civilization. So,
yes.
Yeah. So the way the story goes, and it might not be true. I was reading some stuff that this might not actually be true, but the story goes that in the original Civilization, the leader of the Indian faction was Gandhi, and he originally had his aggression set to one of the lowest denominations. He had, set down to 1.
Right, because pacifist.
Yeah, he's a pacifist. And then they decided that the factions were, too aggressive, and so they decided that they were going to set everything down 2 for the aggression scale. But what that actually does for Gandhi is it puts him at -1, or essentially glitches him over to the extreme end of the aggression scale. So now all he wants to do is drop nukes on you all the time.
Right.
Now,
and they kept it.
They did keep it. Now, there is a possibility that was like an urban legend that a very angry, frustrated gamer had after losing to Gandhi once or twice. But it became such a fascinating, meme that the Sid Meier's Civilization series just left it. And in every future iteration, Gandhi is the most aggressive of all the world leaders by nature. The one that
I'm sure he would not approve.
He probably wouldn't, but
he would strongly and silently not approve.
And then all of a sudden, a nuke drops on your head. So, and it's from Gandhi. One that I remembered somebody talking to me about, by which I mean I read a comment and I was like, oh yeah, comes from...
Yeah, the comments are talking to you. It's okay.
The comments are talking to me. They're all in my head. It's a voice. The point is, the voice in my head reminded me about reverse pickpocketing in Fallout.
Ah, yes, grenades.
Yes, but what happened in the Fallout was that you could pickpocket somebody, and it would just open inventories. And they never really assumed that anyone would think to themselves, hey, what if I put something from my inventory into the NPC's inventory? It was always supposed to be the other way around. And then some players thought to themselves, ooh, what if I put a live grenade from my inventory into the NPC's inventory? Oh, it causes the grenade to explode and blow the character up.
Right.
Yes. So in future versions of Fallout, You could always reverse pickpocket people to the
I
point
think you can do that in Skyrim too. You can reverse pickpocket poisons.
Yes, you can. You can. To the point where there were actually perks you could take in Fallout to get that ability. Because I remember I was playing 3 a year or two ago, and I was like, ooh, I could reverse pickpocket a thing. And I was like, oh, wait, I'm not able to do this? And then I realized that there's actually, like, a perk you have to take in order for you to do that.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, you can reverse pickpocket explosives now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, congratulations, you unlock that ability.
No, it'd be great in Fallout 4 is if you can reverse pickpocket the mini nukes.
Oh, yeah.
Except then you would just kill yourself because suddenly nuke in the pocket.
Yeah. Good. That would be an amazing moment, though. Like, you were able to get one of the synths, and the synth just runs away from you while it has a nuke in the pocket, and you see, like, the giant mushroom cloud come up as it explodes.
That would be pretty great.
That would be great. That'd be great. It would be great if you could pickpocket death claws like that.
Oh, you could probably actually do that with the nuke grenade.
Mm-hmm.
So you could just do that and then boom.
Oh, the nuka grenades. Yeah, you can do that with the nuka grenades. It's close enough.
Now you need to go back and play Fallout 4 reverse pickpocketing nuka grenade build.
Yes. Yes. Well, there's a lot of stuff you can take in that for, like, chemist perks, too, to make them more powerful.
Just get a mod that gives you a ton of those grenades so you can do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's all good. It's all good. But let's face it, Fallout wouldn't really be the series it was without that mechanic anymore, and you can see how much they love it because, yeah, as you said, it's something you can do in Skyrim, too. If you want to paralyze somebody, you could just put a potion of paralysis in their pocket, and then they just T-pose. They just fall backwards.
Yes.
And it's hilarious, and it's fascinating. Was it, I want to say Spiffing Brit did a video where he it was like, I can paralyze everybody in town.
He did. He paralyzed a couple hundred NPCs forever.
Yeah, yeah. Once you glitch and you get your alchemy up to like 7 million% effectiveness, it's pretty much all dead.
That's one of those other ones too. Again, Bethesda, in Skyrim, where you can abuse the restoration glitch.
Yeah, to make equipment that is absolutely insane in its enchantments and potions that will just paralyze for literal weeks or days. So yeah, good stuff. I might have used that once or twice. Here's one I didn't know about, but I was fascinated, is, do you know that the whole premise of GTA was actually based on a glitch?
Really?
Yeah. So, before they were Rockstar, the game company, I don't remember what they were called beforehand, but they...
before they were Rockstar.
Before they were Rockstar, insert title here, made a top-down racing game that was called Race and Chase. And
I feel like I remember that vaguely.
Race and Chase was basically, the idea was similar to the original GTA games that were like the top-down sandbox, but this would allow you to either play as like street racers or as the police. And, you know, so I guess you can kind of think of it as almost like Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, but in a top-down version back in the day.
And PS1 graphics.
Yeah, that too. It was very arcane. But the thing about it is that when they programmed the AI into this thing, they found that the police were really super aggressive towards everything that was happening. And they were like, hey, this is actually kind of fun, where like it's an actual pursuit and things are going crazy and they're bringing out the big guns. That led them to create Grand Theft Auto, because they were like, well, we can use that framework as you being a criminal going around in this world, trying to, you know, cause mayhem, and then the police just start sending out, like, helicopters and tanks after you, using that overly aggressive AI. And that's basically how the series became the series. So, all based on a glitch, which is fascinating.
Great. Glitches run the world.
A couple other good examples of this, actually. Minecraft. When I
Oh,
say
the creeper?
the creeper. The creeper was a pig.
Everyone knows the creeper. Yeah, it was a corrupted pig model.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a pig sitting down, but it ended up being upright in the coding. And it looked so weird that there was like a pig standing up that Notch turned it green, and it became the creeper model.
Then it stalks you. It tries to approach now from being out of sight.
Yes.
You will notice if you play Minecraft. I'm sure anyone who plays Minecraft and is listening to this already knows this, but it is actually written in for them that a creeper will try to approach you from not being seen. It'll sneak up on you. So if you see one and it's kind of off in the distance, it won't approach.
Oh, okay.
It'll be kind of hiding. It'll try to hide. And then if it's close enough, it'll obviously try to attack you. But
Oh, yeah. And that's why they kind of like pop out of nowhere, seemingly.
yeah,
Sometimes.
they pop out a tss.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's. If you want a noise that'll trigger everybody that's played Minecraft,
Yeah.
it's just a sudden. Tss. No. No.
Oh no, that can't be good. That can't be good.
Shit, where is it?
Yeah. Oh no, something's gonna explode. I don't want explosions. And then
Yeah, I can tell you as someone who has played Minecraft since beta. Once you hear that telltale sound of a creeper
Run in
right
any
behind
direction.
you, it's like fuck.
yeah, run in any direction. Whatever you have
Yeah.
to do, get away.
Especially if you're near your home and you're like, no.
And they blow you, and they blow up the house, and they blow up your bed, and you're like, okay, now I can't rest.
You're like, fucker.
Damn you. Those exploding pigs that are upside down or upright. The other one that you're probably not familiar with, but I'll tell you anyway, is from Hitman, the new Hitman games.
I heard something about it and I cannot remember.
So, homing briefcase.
Yes, that is what I heard. Think I saw that on an outside Xbox or outside extra.
Yes, I believe so. There are a few really good gaming lists. I'll try to leave them in the description down below from Gaming Bolt, What Culture, Outside Xbox that did a lot of that discuss these. But the Hitman briefcases is kind of great because the idea is there a spider.
Yeah, you got a nice spider on your green screen, Nathan.
1 second. Spider! No! Go away! There. Okay. Spider. That was a bug in itself.
That was literally a bug in the episode.
That was literally a bug in the episode.
You'll have to edit that out slightly for the podcast, I think. But it'll be great on video.
Oh, yeah. What happened to the bug? I have to find a
If
good
you were in
background for that.
Australia, you'd be staring at that.
Oh, yeah.
Going, don't fucking move.
Yeah, exactly.
As we were talking, who was it? I don't remember. One of the guys we were talking to in Australia. It wasn't Morgan, it was Peter?
It might have been Peter Sanderson.
Yeah, I think it was him. It's like, yeah, no, you just see the big spider in the corner, you just watch it. You just make sure it doesn't go anywhere you can't see it.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
oh, okay.
Just keep an eye on it. It's fine.
It's like, no.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I think I'll pass on that. Hey, you stay over in your corner.
Nobody puts spider in
I got it. There. Okay, the spider is now underneath my heater, so I don't think he's getting out now.
It's warm now. Anyways, back to the episode.
We were going to be talking... Sorry, enough with the foolishness of spiders. Let's talk about homing briefcases instead.
Yes, exactly.
But the idea is that when they first came out with this new trilogy of the Hitman games, the idea was that you would be able to throw any object. One of those objects was a briefcase, and for some reason in the coding, when you checked the briefcase, it would home in on the enemy's head, even if it was curved, even if they were moving down the street, whatever it was, the briefcase would just follow them anywhere. Now, the developers at IO Interactive were like, oh, that's a bug. We got to get rid of that. We'll do that. And they did, and there was an outcry. People were like, but the homing briefcase was great. And so they were like, oh, okay. So they ended up making an actual item that was like a weaponized item that was called the homing briefcase that you can use and will follow your target forever. It'll just slowly spin through the world.
I think that's more fun is when they go, okay, hold on, this was a bug. We're gonna fix the bug, but we're gonna make it a thing later on or in the same game that you can actually get that does the same thing but doesn't affect the entire game. It's like, we still need to fix this bug because it's a bug.
Yeah.
But we're gonna take that and make something properly from it that does what that did.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of the examples, too, that we were just talking about were actually just that. The idea of really aggressive police in a racing game ending up being kind of great and becoming a series all of its own. The fact that you can actually put stuff back in people's pockets in Fallout. These are actually really interesting features that they kind of found out were interesting features because of the glitchy nature of it to begin with. If they didn't have the glitch, you wouldn't have realized what a fun feature it was that doesn't really break the game, but adds like this new mechanic into it previously. Generally, can you tell me, like, if you think there is a line between mistakes that just need to be fixed because they're too broken and ones that you can probably just leave in if people just like them enough, like if they're just funny?
That's a really hard line because obviously, like, Gandhi isn't necessarily broken because the difficulty of civilization is based on what you set and based on how you play. And if, for instance, if you don't want to play versus Gandhi, you can make sure you're not playing with Gandhi there. If you want to play Skyrim on an easier mode, the giants will still catapult you into the stratosphere if they hit you. So it's I guess it really depends on the nature of the bug and the glitch. If it's game breaking, I think it should probably be fixed.
Sure.
If like it utterly changes how the game should be played in a way that is not intended, that doesn't necessarily make it more fun. I think the biggest thing there is if it adds a sense of fun or hilarity to the game, it's fine.
Sure.
But if it's frustrating, it's not.
Right. And, I mean, since we're delving deeper, it is very much a design issue. If you find that it adds to the design of your game, I don't think it's necessarily a problem. But if it seems to inhibit what you planned on having the game be, it's gonna have to get patched. You would hope.
Right.
You would hope.
So, like, if the police just wasted you every single time in GTA because they were that aggressive, it'd be like, okay, we kind of need to tone it down.
Right, exactly. Or if there was a whole thing where the Space Invaders, it became slower instead of faster for some reason.
Right.
Or more sprites just ended up on screen or below you, or or it just rotated your little gun like 5 degrees every time. It's like, well, then it becomes practically unplayable if I have to do that. So I think that in a lot of ways, especially in the modern era, where games are, for better or worse, released in a semi-finished state and then players give feedback on it, this has a lot more to do with how the reaction from the public is. It doesn't necessarily even matter if it makes sense, which I don't even know how I feel about that, because I feel like some of these, like the homing briefcase is terrific because players said that we really need you to keep this, but from a perspective of this very gritty assassination game where Agent 47 needs to eliminate targets around the world, a homing briefcase makes no damn sense whatsoever.
Yeah, I think it definitely takes precedent with the tone that the game is trying to give you.
Right.
So. I think one of the things, it's not a glitch, it's just them adding in a super powerful thing later, is Dead Space. I think has the secret finger guns.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Well, I don't remember how you get it. I know it's not a glitch. It's something they added in. But it doesn't really mesh with the tone of the game, I don't think. Like, it's super silly.
Mm.
And it's super powerful.
Yes, it is. It is.
But is it fun?
I mean, yeah, because it's finger guns. So
But
there's that.
You know, it's one of those things. Is it fun and does it mesh with the tone? I don't think it meshes with the tone.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's supposed to be a space kind of horror game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting. It's not a glitch, obviously. They added that in. This is something they specifically added.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a little different. But you kind of get where I'm coming from. Also, the
Sure.
finger guns. Pew pew.
Yeah.
And just murdering everything is great.
That is terrific. It also reminds me of when they added in the Tofu Mode in what was it, Resident Evil? I don't know if you remember that, but it's like
No.
after you play like the initial story, and I can't remember which Resident Evil it was, but there was like the initial story, there was Ava's story, and after you play through all of that, you can play as a block of tofu armed only with a knife. And
Right.
if you beat that, you get like the secret ending, which I think that's how that worked, where you find out that the whole game was just a dog sitting at the control panel, and that was like the secret.
Okay, yeah. Oh, you know, one glitch we did not mention
Oh.
is actually very famous, and that's Pokemon.
Oh, the Missingno.
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 Which is a glitch from the coding of the Pokédex, essentially.
Yes.
But also has a tie-in to the fact that, you know, this is famous, is the Missingno Glitch is a Pokédex entry because they didn't program it correctly for that. But also the fact that it will duplicate the item in your, like, 6th slot of your bag.
Oh, yeah.
Like 99 times. Like,
Yeah.
it'll just duplicate that. And so it's a duplication as well. But catching Missingno can corrupt the data of your game occasionally if you do that and save it.
Yeah, but if it means I get 999 Master Balls, it was worth it.
Yeah. It's Master Balls and Rare Candy. But that is a well-known glitch that, you know, obviously nowadays you could patch something like that out. But back in those days, it was physical hardware. Offline game, so you could not patch that out. I actually don't know in the digital editions if they patched that. I'm sure they did not, because people would rail.
Yeah.
People would rail against that, and they'd be like, Nintendo, what the shit?
than
they're already going, what the shit, Nintendo?
Yeah, I kind of feel like, in some ways, Game Freak kind of dropped the ball by not just giving Missingno a full entry and backstory and just making it a catchable Pokemon, like a super rare Pokemon.
It is catchable. You can catch them, and it will occasionally evolve into a Kangaskhan.
Oh my goodness!
I don't know if you ever knew that.
No. Does that mean,
Yes.
Does that mean it's the little Kanga character, the baby Kangaskhan that's in the pouch?
I don't know.
I want to
Maybe.
say.
But, so fun fact is I actually had one forever ago. I think that my friend traded me that was a caught Missingno that evolved. You give it a rare candy, it evolves into a Kangaskhan, and it can know fly and surf.
Of course.
Because, obviously Kangaskhan needs both.
Right. And then you have fly and surf. So basically at that point, your Missingno has allowed you to travel the entirety of the Kanto region. Everywhere.
Pretty much.
You can just go
Anyways.
everywhere. But anyway. So yeah, glitches is a feature. I guess the lesson that we can take away from that is if you're building a game, and you find that something is actually going wrong, and there's a mechanic that seems like it is broken, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not broken. Maybe it's just a feature. And keep it.
Maybe the entire podcast is a broken feature.
That's true. Error 404, podcast
not found. If we ever get this podcast up to 404 episodes,
it's just the
404 is going to be the podcast not found.
And that's going to be the glitchiest episode we have ever done.
It will. It'll be the Missingno of episodes.
Missingno of episodes. That's what we have to remember to call it for that.